and not just the names of victims in the case. ABC's Perry Russum has more.
Republican Thomas Massey and Democrat Ro Khanna say the DOJ redacted several names of men they say.
Okay, and good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream edition. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me in the studios this morning, I'm joined by a couple of great guests. Doug Schaffer, who's the Vice President for Advancement and Community Impact and the Executive Director of Lake Michigan College, and Bob Burch, who's the Senior Vice President of Sturgis Bank. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Ken.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yeah, so the video live stream thing is, if you're not familiar with it, we have the video cameras on and the microphones on for the whole hour, basically. And we give exclusive content to people who are watching. Now, on the radio, they only get part of our content. So that's why we have to tell stories a second time sometime. Does that make sense?
I got it.
Is that good? All right. But that's okay. I mean, it's a way that we can get people over to the video live stream where they can get more content. Gentlemen, what's going on? How are we today?
Hey, Ken, I'm doing well, but if I could start and just make one shout out to one of your longtime listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're just on the video live stream right now.
I want to hold the story then.
You want to hold it till we're on the radio?
Because I know he's listening right now, so I want to hold it until the radio.
Okay. We'll come back after the local news, and then we can do that. So
I like it.
We're here today, gentlemen, to talk about the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. If somebody only has 90 seconds, what is it? Who wants to tell us what it is and what they should do?
I'm happy to take that one.
All right,
the Student Benefit Auction has been around since 1988. This year is its 34th edition of the Winner's Circle auction, now called the Student Benefit Auction.
Yeah.
And it's simple. We raise dollars for scholarships to make going to college as inexpensive and in many cases absolutely free, especially for local residents. We're also raising money for special programs and special needs that students have that aren't expected, so that when they come to college and are facing challenges that impede their ability to be as good as they can be in the classroom, we also have support for them in those situations. And we'll talk more about that. But that's why we're here, is to raise money for students.
Love that. And Sturgis Bank, Bob, you're here because Sturgis Bank is very involved.
Yeah, Sturgis Bank is a big believer in the college. We're a big believer in the students that go to that college, and we want to support them in any way we can. And I think I go back to what the millages that passed this particular year. It tells me that the whole community is supportive of the college. But when there's a need in the community, the college has been there. If it goes to the police academy that you've talked about before on the air here, there was a need. The college was there to sort of solve that need and start the police academy. They did it with the winemaking. They did it with the truck driving school, the Hanson Technology Center. There was a need for people in the machine shops, tool and die shops, and they have apprentice programs, and they bring students out that now are trained and skilled and can have nice livings in that particular area. So that list goes on and on and on. I think there's even an AI boot camp now, how to use AI better. So they
love that.
But there again, needs of the community, the college listens, and they help resolve those needs.
Yeah, and to help make that possible for more people, Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction is coming up on Saturday, March 7th. It'll be held at the Mendel Center, Grand Upton Hall. You gentlemen wearing black ties? Because it's black tie option. So, Doug?
Absolutely. The tux order is already in.
I will also be wearing a tux.
Okay, all right. Have you ever done the mail order tux? Online? No. I did this one time. I had to go to a friend's wedding, but it was down I think it was in Tennessee somewhere. And I didn't want to drag a tuxedo with me. I didn't own one, so I didn't want to rent one and then drag it with me because I thought it'd get wrinkled. They had online service deliver it to my hotel. It was perfect.
It fit perfect?
It fit perfectly. It was great. I think it's still out there. I can't remember the name of the company, but if you ever need to travel with a black tie, there you go.
That's it. I've owned my own tuxedo for like 25 years and wore it. This time, though, I actually went out and rented one.
Oh, powder blue. Finally got you. Okay.
No, it's black, I'll be honest.
We'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Can help any credit type get approved for up to $5,000 in minutes.
Take control and get the money you need at 47fastcash.com. 47fastcash.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show for your Tuesday morning, February 10th, 7:05 a.m. I'm Ken Lundberg. Temperature out in Benton Harbor right now, 33 degrees. In St. Joseph, it's 34. South Haven, it's 33 degrees under cloudy skies. We're going to see some more sunshine today, partly sunny skies. And warming up the icicles, it's going to be 37 degrees. That's our high that we're shooting for today. Still going to be a little bit windy. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 25 today. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy, low of 25. No precipitation in the forecast until tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny. Then we're going to also deal with a 20% chance of snow, a high around 30. The wind coming out of the northwest still gusting to about 25 miles per hour. Thursday's forecast, mostly cloudy and another chance of snow late in the day. The high around 32 degrees and the low around 18. Some of the news from the WSJM newsroom. The effort to restart the Palisades nuclear power plant in Van Buren County is facing another potential delay. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission has received word from Palisades owner Holtec International that they are preparing to ask for regulatory relief or an exception in relation to certain welding requirements related to not having documentation to prove that they were done within the requirements. Kevin Camps is with the advocacy group Beyond Nuclear.
They cannot prove that their welds are compliant with American Society for Mechanical Engineers welding standards and regulations that the NRC has incorporated into their own safety regulations. So their proposal is to work with proxy materials of similar vintage and try to show that everything's okay.
Camps Group is opposed to the restart of Palisades and said he would oppose the request at the NRC and noted a denial could delay the restart by about a year. The NRC held a meeting on this matter yesterday for Holtec to outline the issue ahead of a possible filing. NRC official Prima Chandrachil said any decision would focus primarily on safety.
It's a combination of the NRC having to look at the materials and the data and the information that the licensee provides to us in order for us to make a determination if we can approve this relief request.
Chandrachil said the session was preliminary because no formal request has yet been submitted. Camp said the company indicated a filing could come within weeks. The Hager Township Board of Trustees is reviewing questions about local drain projects. Township Supervisor Izzy DiMaggio said he recently met with Berrien County Drain Commissioner George McManus and learned residents are paying assessments tied to two large projects started under the previous drain commissioner. One involves the Perry and Street Drainage District.
The previous drain commissioner, get this, borrowed $595,000 for the project, but the project was only estimated to cost $348,000. So he borrowed almost double what the project cost, and he got it at a 7.33% interest.
DiMaggio said property owners in that district, along with the township, are covering the costs. He said a second project presents similar concerns.
Something is not right, and I think we need to talk to the county. Why wasn't the money borrowed from a private instead of a private lender? Could have been borrowed from the revolving fund with the county at zero interest.
DiMaggio said the township sought information in 2024 about the work and related charges, but hasn't received any answers. He said communication has improved under the new drain commissioner, and the township might raise the issue with the county soon. Emergency Shelter Services in Benton Harbor is preparing for its second annual Coldest Night of the Year fundraiser. The walk is set for Saturday, February 28th to support people experiencing homelessness and hunger. Board Vice President Sarah Eads said the event is part of a nationwide event.
We do a 5K and a 2K walk. It's a family event where we put ourselves in the shoes of an individual who is hurt, hungry, or homeless. And we walk a 5K or a 2K sort of in solidarity, but also in recognition of the gift that we have a place to go.
Funds support the organization's shelter, the only facility in Berrien County serving women and children with 28 beds that are often full.
We're obviously in a situation where federal funding is not a guarantee as it has been in the past. So we're really looking for direct donors in our community to keep the lights on, to keep things running.
Last year, 92 walkers raised nearly $20,000. This year's goal is $40,000. The walk begins and ends at the Secret Garden in Benton Harbor. Adults who raise $150 and youth who raise $75 will receive an event winter hat. And one more news story. This was kind of interesting. This is up from Allegan County. I know it's a little bit north of here. The Michigan State Police say a taxidermied black bear that was stolen from an Allegan County porch has been recovered. Yes, the bear was taken from the porch on January 19th. It was a home on Lakeshore Drive in Ganges Township. Police said that it was found within 6 miles of the home and in fine condition. The mounted bear had been decorated with a ring, a necklace, a watch, a fake sheriff's badge, and a holster with a toy gun. Not sure if they were decorated before or afterwards. Security video showed a suspect was dragging it away, but they couldn't get a good look at the suspect, so no arrest has been made yet, but the bear has been recovered. Anyone with information is willing to come forward is asked to contact the Wayland MSP Post. It's good news. Get back the taxidermied bear.
Hard to believe.
Anyway, all right, that's some of the news that we're covering in the WSJM newsroom this morning. Right now, though, I want to introduce our special guests in studio. We have a couple of great individuals who are here to talk about the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. Doug Schaffer is here. He's Vice President, Advancement and Community Impact, and the Executive Director of the Lake Michigan College Foundation. And Bob Burch, Senior Vice President, Sturgis Bank. And Sturgis Bank, by the way, is the presenting sponsor of this year's event. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Good morning. And welcome.
Good morning, Ken. Happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit, one of you, again, give us the overview. What is the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction? We'll dive in this hour about what it is, its history, everything else, but what is this?
Well, I'll start and let Bob continue with additional thoughts. But the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction began in 1988, known as the Winter Circle Auction. It was the vision of Carolyn Hansen, who has been a longtime friend of the college and the community. And she and Merlin were at a benefit auction in South Bend and looked at each other and said, we've got to do this in St. Joe, Benton Harbor, Southwest Michigan. And we wanted to support Lake Michigan College. And so she was one of the original co-chairs. And it was this vision that created the Winter Circle Auction. And 34 years later, or 34 events later, a little bit more than 34 years because of a couple COVID years that we didn't have it.
Sure.
We've raised a lot of money for scholarships for students.
Yeah. Money-wise, I mean, like more than $5 million, right?
Correct.
That's
way
amazing.
More than $5 million in terms of gross money raised. But the endowment, the Winter Circle Endowment Scholarship Fund, the current value is just under $5 million,
wow,
which produces almost $250,000 worth of scholarship money every year as a result of that endowment.
Every year, in and out. And the presenting sponsor this year is Sturgis Bank. You've been involved for some time, Bob.
Yeah, personally, I think I've only missed about 2 of those auctions over my lifetime. So
wow,
it's near and dear to me. But Sturgis Bank is proud to support organizations like Lake Michigan College. We think they do so much for this community. And without them, it would not be, Southwest Michigan would not be what it is today. They see the needs of the community. They go out there and they solve those problems, such as the police academy, a truck driving school, the Hansen Technology Center, winemaking. Whatever the need was in our community, the college has been there to respond to it and to help us resolve whatever those needs were. So we're a big supporter of that. Then obviously this particular event is good for the students. And you need those students and to keep them in our area. The workforce is so important. And Sturgis Bank is proud to be part of this and be the presenting sponsor this particular year.
It's the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. It's coming up on Saturday, March 7th, the Mendel Center, Grand Upton Hall. Black tie optional, but both of these gentlemen are going to be wearing black ties, right?
Yes,
black tie?
Yes, I will be.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. And it's to benefit. It began back in 1988. And raised millions of dollars for area students. So that's fantastic. We're going to talk about that this hour, talk about the history of it. We're going to learn the origin stories of the individuals here as well. Bob, we got yours recently. We received yours recently, but we'll talk a little bit about it a little bit more because I think people will be interested. Doug, we need to get to know you as well. But Bob, you wanted to do a shout out.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken. I was here about a month ago and Ken asked me a question about the logo of Sturgis Bank. And a longtime listener, and I'm sure he's listening this morning, is Charles Jesperson.
Yeah.
Charles actually sent me a letter and sent me a golden acorn. It's something that he received over 40 years ago. And he wrote a beautiful letter that talked about how a small acorn grows into a large, strong oak tree.
Yeah.
And he says, very similar to the story I told about Sturgis Bank and its growth, But he sent me this letter. Now, I'm going to take that, though, because it meant something special to me. Keep the acorn myself forever, but we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to give out a acorn award at Sturgis Bank going forward for some exceptional service that some of our employees have done. So it's going to be an employee award. Might give it out even like semi-annually to somebody who I think is deserving. But Charles Jesperson was the sort of the catalyst behind that.
Love that.
So anyways, thank you, Charles, and good morning to you.
Yeah, Charles Jesperson, and he emails every now and again, and I really appreciate Charles. So thank you for being a listener. He sent you a golden acorn. That's cool. You know the price of gold these days?
I don't. Charles likes me, but I don't think it's real gold.
All right.
At least gold plated. It's heavy. It's cool.
Oh, that's
and
fantastic.
It's special to me.
And then Sturgis Bank going to come up with an acorn award. Love
Correct.
that.
Correct.
That's fantastic. Okay, we'll learn more about that as well here on the WSJM Morning Show. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to continue this conversation right now on the video live stream here on the radio. We're going to do some sports. This is the WSJM Morning Show at 7:16.
Sports.
All right, back on the video live stream. That was really nice of Charles.
That was really,
say,
I got it. And, we're not like best friends. We served on a couple boards and things together. We were in Rotary Club together. And so I got this in the mail, and it's pretty heavy in a package. And it said, you guys return a label on there. And I said, what in the world is Charles said to me?
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to read this letter when I give the award out to some employee, deserving employee of it.
Yeah.
And Charles, that memory will go on forever. Every time I'm going to read that letter.
That's nice.
When I'm gone, somebody else hopefully will carry this forward.
That's great. That's really nice to hear. Okay. So, Doug, if you wouldn't mind, we usually ask people for their origin story. Tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from, and how'd you get to where you are?
Yeah, well, I am proud to be a resident I live in Benton Harbor now, but from Sawyer, New Troy area, born and raised, River Valley High School. My family has deep roots down there. My mom and dad were classmates starting in kindergarten all the way through high school at New Troy High School before it was consolidated and became River Valley, which consolidated New Troy and Three Oaks. But education and lifelong residence of Berrien County has been the mainstay of my family. And so through teaching and coaching, especially, is how we've made our greatest impact on education. And so in addition to kind of following in my dad's footsteps as a boys basketball coach, I was blessed to do that at Lake Michigan College for 13 seasons as the head basketball coach. And that's what brought me home after a couple of years working in the financial markets in downtown downtown Chicago right after college. That itch to get into coaching and to come back home is what brought me to Lake Michigan College. Yeah. That was the 1998-99 season was my first year coaching. That led to becoming coach and athletic director at LMC. And now I'm in administration. And so that's a little bit about my origin story.
Yeah, no, you breezed over a lot of it there. That's fascinating. I love that. So did you play college ball as well?
I did. Another reason why I am so much of a believer in the community college mission is that while I didn't go to Lake Michigan College, I did go a little bit east to Kalamazoo Valley Community College, played men's basketball. That led to an opportunity to walk on and play at Western Michigan University for a couple of years, get my bachelor's degree in business, worked in business for a few years. And then, as I said before, worked my way back to education.
Yeah, that's great. And so how long have you been with Lake Michigan College?
Now, when you think of 1998-99 as my first season, it's been ever since then, with the exception of there was a 4-year break where I went to the Boys and Girls Club of Benton Harbor as the executive director there and worked in youth development from 2008 to 2012. But before then and since then, I've been at Lake Michigan College.
What is and with that experience at Lake Michigan College, what is the benefit of formerly the Winter Circle and now the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction? How does it materialize? How does it manifest for the students?
Well, it does in a variety of ways. And the biggest way that it manifests for students is through scholarship money. And a large portion of the Winter Circle Endowment Fund is going to ensure that recent high school graduates of our in-district high schools, both public and private, have the opportunity to go to LMC for free. And that includes tuition and books by complementing state level tuition programs. And we are prioritizing that because 5 years ago, we learned that almost 60% of Berrien County high school graduates were going nowhere right after college. And we really wanted to change the trajectory of those statistics. And so we have really invested in trying to make it really difficult for a recent high school graduate who doesn't have a great opportunity to go to another town or another school, which there's great options out there. But many times your best option is to stay home, and not only stay home where you've got family support and friends, but also the financial benefits of being able to get at least those first 60 credit hours at no cost to you is substantial. And so that's maybe the biggest way that the Winter Circle Auction Scholarship Endowment Fund is making an impact today. And we also have money raised that support veteran students, the food pantry, and a few other things that I'll get into as we continue our conversation.
Okay, excellent. And maybe we can talk a little bit about the origin of it as well, and talk about Carolyn Hansen and her role in this as well in just a few moments here on the WSJM Morning Show. It's 7:20. Back with this conversation, we're talking with Doug Schaffer, Vice President for Advancement and Community Impact at Lake Michigan College and the Executive Director of the Lake Michigan College Foundation, and Bob Burch, the Senior Vice President at Sturgis Bank, presenting sponsor of this year's event. That's coming up in just a moment, right after a weather forecast update here on WSJM.
Kevin, switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Partly sunny skies today. Afternoon high temperatures getting up around 37 degrees. Will be a little bit breezy at times. So we head into tonight, mostly cloudy skies. We drop down to 25. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny. We do see a slight chance of a few flurries, but high temperatures back right around 30. We'll be back to near the freezing point on Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:21 on your Tuesday morning, February 10th. Up bright and early this morning is Al Pasholka. He said, "Great story, Bob."
Thank you, Al.
I think he was talking about the acorn and Charles's contribution. So.
I'm sure he was, and he's another listener all the time.
Yeah, no, he's good.
He's a big part of the college too.
Big friend of the WSJM Morning Show as well. We appreciate Al. It is 7:22. We're talking with Doug Schaffer and Bob Burch. Doug is the Vice President for Advancement and Community Impact and Executive Director of the Lake Michigan College Foundation, and Bob Burch is Senior Vice President at Sturgis Bank. And Sturgis Bank is the presenting sponsor of this year's event. The event is the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. It's happening Saturday, March 7th at the Mendel Center, Grand Upton Hall. It's a formal event, right? It's a black tie event. So what does the event entail? What does it look like? What does it feel like if you attend? What can you expect?
Well, this is a program that's evolved over the years, and Bob can attest to that we've tried to listen to the folks that have attended for many years. Okay. And we now have a much more social event than what it was for the majority of the years past. And so we followed the traditional script for most of the Winter Circle Auction, where you'd arrive and spend 45 minutes to an hour in social networking and peruse the silent auction items. But then fairly early in the evening, because we had such a robust agenda, you and everyone had to sit down at their table because we were going to offer a multi-course deal, a dinner, white tablecloth, and that kind of is great, but it stops the momentum and the energy of everyone socializing and engaging with each other, and also, bidding on auction items. And then that would segue to the live auction, and that would just, over the course of time, kind of end the night with a lot of people saying, I didn't get the time that I would have liked to with my friends and people that maybe I haven't seen in a while. Yeah. So since COVID, we have shifted to no longer having a formal sit-down dinner, but going with multiple heavy appetizer stations. Oh. And I can tell you the quality of the food is just as good as if it would have been the traditional chicken, salmon, filet mignon type sit-down dinner. But you can go to these stations while you're socially engaging with your friends. You can take time, sit down with your friends, go back up and peruse. And so you have 2 hours at the beginning of the event to make sure that you fill up on the great food that's available at the appetizer stations, but also maximize that social engagement time. Yeah. And then we all come back together and do the live auction, which is a lot of fun. Dan McCrary from Tosi's longtime friend and partner of the college. You got Dan
to do it.
He is our auctioneer. Yeah. He is fabulous. Yeah. And so he'll return again. And we go through the live auction, which brings a lot of energy and excitement. We do the $10,000 raffle ticket drawing during that time. And then we end the night with a great band coming in and allowing folks to let their hair down, if you will, and wrap up the night with some fun music, dancing, and continued fellowship.
I love that. I love that you put it out there and said, what do you want more of? And they said, we want more social interaction. And that's what you gave them.
That hits on something for me. The number one reason for this dinner auction is to raise dollars for the students and the scholarship dollars. I mean, that's crystal clear to everybody. It should be. But for somebody else like me, and a lot of people I think that go there, there's a side benefit of that networking opportunities. I mean, there's who's who in this community is there, and you have a chance to meet and greet a lot of people, the shakers and movers of this community. So there's value there, socializing value. It's fun. I mean, I look forward to it. It's not like, oh, I have to go to this event. No, I'm going there to have fun.
Yeah.
Items to bid on. There's lots for everybody. If you want to bid on something, there's items there for all sorts of people and things they'll find very interesting to bid on. The raffle's fun. I might add that I think raffle tickets maybe are still available. In the last 2 years, I've sold 3 of the 6 winners. I've been able to sell those tickets to them.
Wow, no kidding.
Maybe somebody wants, if you want to
buy a ticket from Bob,
buy a ticket from me.
You got a good chance of winning.
I'll sell them to you.
I love that. Do we have a list that we can give at some point this hour of some of the things on the auction?
I will work on that. I do on my
on your computer
iPad
there
here. I can pull up some auction items as well. But yes, I can talk about some of the especially the live auction items.
Because I am a sucker for the auctions. I mean, that when you get the auction stuff going, it's like, oh, got to have that. It's like dangling bait in front of a fish.
I'm right now bidding on items for Lakeshore Excellence. They have an auction going on right now, a silent auction.
Yeah.
But I'm out there bidding on all sorts of items.
What are you bidding on? Can you tell us? Don't tell us, no, because it will bid against you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'll keep it a secret.
Okay.
I'm on a lot of them right now.
That's fantastic. We're talking with Doug Schaffer and Bob Burch. Doug is with Lake Michigan College. He's the executive director of the Lake Michigan College Foundation and vice president for advancement and community impact. And Bob Burch, senior vice president for Sturgis Bank, the presenting sponsor of this year's event. Can I ask you, Bob, why is Sturgis Bank the presenting sponsor?
You know, again, it just goes back to the value we see in Lake Michigan College, the value we see in students in a talented workforce that we need to keep here in this particular area. The college goes and resolves these things. They find problems in the community. They're there for us. They're partners in the leadership academy that we have. You know, again, I've talked earlier about the truck driving school. There was a need for that. There was a need for the police academy. The college was again there to answer that need. The apprentice programs for all the machine shops, the tool and die shops out there. They've got the Hanson Technology Center is there. Winemaking is there. I mentioned earlier the AI boot camp is something. I think maybe that's new, but it's something that this is, you know, AI is out there, but a lot of people, particularly older people like myself, don't always know how to use that technology.
Yeah.
And wouldn't mind picking up some tips on how to better use that.
Yeah.
So those are, you know, some of the reasons. I think new programs coming out include physical therapy assistant is something that I don't know if it's here yet, but I think it's coming. But again, that was a need that they saw.
Yeah.
And they were there again to respond to that. So they're a huge community partner. And again, I talked earlier that the fact that we passed both those millages tells you the whole community does appreciate and support the college. And Sturgis Bank we feel we need to be here. We're great. We'd like to believe good corporate citizens, and we want to support organizations like Lake Michigan College.
Yeah, I think I know the answer to this, but is it ever a heavy lift to convince people around you? Yeah, Sturgis has to be involved at this level.
Yeah, it is. It's somewhat pricey, but I think there's a return on that investment. I call it an investment. Yeah. It's an investment we make in local nonprofit organizations that we think we get a return on that investment. We think they're important for the community. You know, we meet and greet a lot of people, and we do things for that reason.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we didn't have it in this community, even at the level that it's at? And that to me says this is why we support.
Yeah, there's a lot of organizations like Sturgis Bank that get involved, and without those organizations, I mean, Whirlpool's been just tremendous to us here in this marketplace, and we always appreciate their support. They do it at bigger levels than I'm able to. But, thank goodness for that. Other financial institutions here locally are very giving back to the community. I was raising money here just this last week for Blossom Time.
Yeah.
And I reached out to several of the local bankers And I can tell you, Scott McFarland was quick to respond back to me from Honor Credit Union and say yes to give money. They're great community supporters. Horizon Bank responded back very quickly, said yes, they will give money. So anyways, there's a lot of financial institutions that give back, as well as many, many organizations.
Yeah, I love that community commitment. All right, it's 7:30. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We'll continue this conversation on the video live stream here in just a moment. Here on the radio, we've got some important messages to get to, and then we'll get the latest financial information from our friends at Bloomberg here on WSJM. Continuing on the video live stream. Good? We hitting it?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Do you have the auction list? What's on the auction list?
Well, I can, I'm going to get the whole list sent to me here. I sent a text to Jen in the office, but some highlights are a really fun event at Silver Beach Pizza. David Costas and the family is so generous, not only to Lake Michigan College, but you can't go to a swim team banquet, a volleyball team banquet at high schools or a pageant and not see Silver Beach listed as someone that is supporting it in some way. And so as a live auction item, they provide a private lunch in their adult area, upstairs area of Silver Beach Pizza, where you get to make your own pizza in their kitchen, a custom pizza, all that toppings that you would ever want, and then take that pizza upstairs. Their bartender, Brent, celebrity bartender, will allow you to make up to 2 of your own craft cocktails, get behind the bar and get creative with a craft cocktail if you so choose. And then just social with a group of 8 to 10 friends. And I'm happy to say that myself and our friends were the winning bidder each of the last 2 years on that event. And we've just had a great time with a private luncheon basically at Silver Beach Pizza. So we're not going to bid on that this year. We're going to allow someone else a chance because it's such a great experience. But that's an experience with friends. You could also use that as a possible holiday staff party, possibly. I was talking to David yesterday, is another option for that. So we've got a Silver Beach private lunch and also with cocktails opportunity. Our friends Gloria and Eric Ender have a murder mystery dinner at their home. That's another very popular item that's on the live auction docket.
How fun.
We've got Tigers tickets, Champions Club Tigers tickets, where you basically get the whole package and parking and hospitality and great seats. We've got AC/DC tickets at Coming to South Bend.
You do not.
We do.
Wow. That's awesome.
And so there's a teaser. How's that for a
How'd
few
you
of
get
the
AC/DC tickets?
Well, General Flynn, who is part of the team, saw those go on sale. We bought them within hours of when they went on sale, and we got some great seats. So,
I can imagine Jen in a rock and roll t-shirt, hanging out, waiting for hours in line till she got the AC/DC tickets.
She was definitely in line. It was maybe virtually in line, but she was in line getting those AC/DC tickets so that we can offer them at the live auction.
That is so cool. I love the experiences. The experiences are, because you mentioned it's at Silver Beach. You get to make your own pizza. You get to be there with friends. You get to make your own cocktails. That's an experience that you just can't get off the shelf anywhere.
You can't buy it.
Yeah.
That is the type of things I think that sell for the most. And me and some group of people, we might try to buy that this particular year, for example.
Yeah.
I'll just add to Silver Beach. I mean, with the Polar Plunge I was at, and you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And they $111,000 they raised.
That's amazing.
But everybody that was a jumper, all the pizzas that were back there once they got done jumping, was donated by Silver Beach Pizza.
No kidding.
Another great corporate citizen that keeps giving back to this community.
Did you jump?
I sponsored, but I did not jump.
That's important.
Scott Crawford jumped for Sturgis Bank on behalf of us.
Very nice. Was it cold?
The water, I guess it wasn't as bad this year because they kept the tub indoors. But when they got out of there, I think the temperature is like 20, 22 degrees.
Yeah.
It was cold. These
Not
guys
pleasant.
were shivering. I was watching them.
Not pleasant indeed. We're talking with Doug Schaffer and Bob Burch. They're here talking about Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. It's coming up on Saturday, March 7th at the Mendel Center, Grand Upton Hall. It's black tie optional. Where can people go to get tickets? Where do we want to send them?
Well, we have a website, lakemichiganccollege.edu/auction. So that's a very easy way to go and buy tickets for the event. You can also buy and support the event through sponsorship opportunities, which are also listed at that webpage. You can also call General Flynn at 269-927-6590. That's a direct line to her office, or email her at JO FLYNN, J.O. Flynn at lakemichigancollege.edu. Of course, you can call the college and ask for myself, and I'm happy to help you. So go online, give us a call at the Lake Michigan College Foundation, and we will take care of you.
I love that. Again, it's lakemichigancollege.edu/auction, and that'll take you to the website where you can see the student benefit auction that's happening March 7th. Carolyn Hansen is the chair emerita, so we'll get a little bit of background on her involvement in that in just a few moments right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Thanks for tuning in.
Thought profitability would shrink. However, CVS faces lots of scrutiny from lawmakers and regulators in Washington who are concerned about the rising cost of healthcare. Quick check of the markets. Stock futures are on the rise, building on yesterday's gains. Economists expect solid retail sales numbers for December, supported by strong household spending despite the high cost of living. Wall Street gets that report before the opening bell this morning. And management at Red Lobster says the chain still needs to slim down. According to the Wall Street Journal, the restaurant is reviewing its real estate footprint and leases, and it could close more locations. Red Lobster previously shut around 130 locations during its bankruptcy 2 years ago. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Another peek at the temperatures outside in Benton Harbor. We're looking at 33 degrees, St. Joseph 34 degrees, South Haven 33, and Dowagiac it's 33 degrees. Cloudy skies all around, but we are expecting partly sunny skies as the morning emerges. High around 37, 38 degrees today. Winds, we'll have some out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. No precipitation tonight. Mostly cloudy skies are expected, a low of 25. Again, that wind out of the northwest gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, Wednesday, maybe some snow. We've got a 20% chance of snow. Otherwise, partly sunny skies and a high around 30 degrees. We are talking this hour about the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. It's coming up Saturday, March 7th. We'll continue that conversation here in just a few moments. First off, we need to get the latest world and national news from our friends at ABC, and then a local news preview.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Jeffrey Epstein's confidant Ghislaine Maxwell not saying anything beyond pleading the fifth in a congressional deposition this week, but her lawyer says she would be willing to testify if granted clemency. There is also more pressure on the British royal family over the Epstein files. There are now allegations that the king's brother, Andrew, shared sensitive documents with Epstein. ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge.
The Prince and Princess of Wales reacting to these new allegations as William begins a visit to Saudi Arabia. A spokesperson for William and Kate saying they have been, quote, deeply concerned by the continuing revelations and their thoughts remain focused on Epstein's victims. King Charles also issuing a statement via his spokesperson expressing the King's, quote, profound concern at allegations which continue to come to light.
The head of ICE will be on Capitol Hill today as Democrats demand reforms in exchange for funding the Department of Homeland Security. San Francisco public schools all closed today with the teachers on strike. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:38 is the time. Some of the news stories coming up just after 8 o'clock this morning. The third paid parking open house information session set for residents was held in St. Joseph City Hall last night. It was the third paid parking open house, the first that was for residents specifically. That was held last night. We have a little bit more information on that. Again, the new plan for paid parking expected to be introduced to the City Commission in March of this year. It takes paid spaces from more than 800 down to 175. So some dramatic changes there. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. I'll tell you about area Congressman Tim Walberg. He has some legislation that got through the Energy Commerce Committee in the House of Representatives focused on energy security and cybersecurity. So that story's coming up. Also, Berrien County Sheriff's Department reporting strong results from its latest Polar Plunge fundraiser for Special Olympics Michigan. We were talking about it just a moment ago. They raised, along with their partners, over $111,000 for Special Olympics Michigan. Good community commitment there. We'll talk about those stories and more. It's all coming up just after 8 o'clock right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got sports after a look at state news here on the video live stream. We'll keep talking about the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. It's coming up on March 7th, so tune in for that. Okay, back on the video live stream. Sorry, I've got too many switches this morning. I think we're good.
How about that brawl that the
oh,
Piston
man.
Game, I'm a Piston fan, and they're having a great season.
Yeah,
but,
they got heated.
Yeah.
A lot of players jumping off the bench. Yeah. So is that going to hurt the team, you think?
Yeah, the reason that Detroit's so successful is because they're so deep. So they've lost 2, 3, 4 players, and they keep winning because the bench is so strong. But it's going to hurt them for sure for a few games, because I'm sure Stewart is going to get suspended. Jalen Durham, maybe.
Yeah,
he's one that had the shove. So, and Stewart came off the bench. So there's 2 I think will go down for Detroit for a few games.
Yeah, not good. But all right, we appreciate the intensity on the court, making the baskets, not off the court. Hey, speaking of, did you watch the Super Bowl, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy with the outcome? Seattle, go Seattle! Yay!
Yeah, I think I was rooting for the Seahawks.
I was very successful in the squares. I wasn't cheering for anybody except
in the
certain
squares.
Numbers. Oh, you make a bet, so you fill up those squares and you get numbers.
Okay.
And if like let's say it was 0-0, if you had zeros, or it was 14-3, 4 and 3 would be the numbers you have to have in the square. So you fill it. You've never done that?
No. What is this?
It's just it's just a chart. I mean, it's very, very.
Is this run by like the Sports Kings or something like that?
No, local bars have them. The bank have them. Every little business has their own for their. And we had a little party at the house, and so we another box of them. But
very nice.
I ended up between my wife and I made about $575, and we invested about $150. So that's
wow.
That's a very good return on that investment.
Why? That's why you're in banking.
It's pure luck. Let me just tell you, you have no idea what numbers you're going to get. You just randomly put your name in these 100 squares.
Yeah.
And
ads. Any reviews on the ads that you saw?
Love the Budweiser ad was my favorite.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Now I will say I don't want to blast the halftime show, but the halftime show for me, only because I couldn't understand a word of it, and it was very difficult. And I probably tuned out a little bit during the halftime show for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, Bad Bunny, I don't understand all the like the Grammy recognition. If you've listened to Latino music, that's what it is. That's what I mean. And it sounds like that. And for 40 years, I've not heard anything different, honestly. No knock or anything like that.
The music was fine. It wasn't
the music was fine
at all, but I didn't understand the words.
Yeah.
And they would talk, and that, I think we are in the United States, and our main language is English.
Yeah.
And some of that was all right, but too much for
give
me.
us something. Yeah. Give something. Lady Gaga was there.
Yeah. But she spoke in Spanish too.
Did you see the little trees, the sugarcane bushes they had or whatever? Those were all people.
Yeah. Love that. Some of the scenery they put out there, and how they can do that and create that at halftime and roll that out into on the field and then get it back out of there. Is amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool. Anyway, I'm glad that there were. To me, it didn't appear as if there were any overt protests, which I didn't think that was really. I mean, you're given the stage. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing there.
Exactly. No wardrobe malfunctions.
Yeah, that too. Janet Jackson.
Oh yeah,
living infamy. All right. Anything else on Super Bowl we want to cover? Outcome was good. Patriots.
Next year, Lions.
Next year, Lions.
I was wearing Lions gear for the Super Bowl just so people know this is the team next year that's going to be there.
I love that. All right. We're talking here with Bob Burch, Senior Vice President at Sturgis Bank, and Sturgis Bank is the presenting sponsor of this year's Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. It's coming up on March 7th. We're also talking with Doug Schaffer, Vice President for Advancement and Community Impact and the Executive Director of Lake Michigan College Foundation. We'll come back in just a couple of moments, and talk about Lake Michigan College Foundation, if that's all right, and all of the things that you're involved in. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Fair? Okay. All right. And again, remember, the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction is coming up on Saturday, March 7th. It's going to be held at the Mendel Center Grand Upton Hall. It's black tie optional, but definitely dust off the tuxedo if you want to look fancy, be fancy, fit right in. The Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction began as Winner Circle Auction in 1988 and has gone strong since then. To date, raising more than $5 million. More than that. Well more than that. How much?
I focus on the value of the endowment, and the value of the endowment is almost $5 million itself. And so that is from the contributions from the event, plus the earnings of the portfolio in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And then when you add on all of the support that we do for veteran students, the money that goes directly to the food pantry, which is proceeds from the raffle, When you start adding that up, that cumulative effect over the years, I would suggest that our gross money raised is close to 10 million, if not more than
That's
10
great.
million.
Okay. We'll talk about some of that, the cumulative effect in the community here in just a moment here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Partly sunny skies today. Afternoon high temperatures getting up around 37 degrees. Will be a little bit breezy at times. So we head into tonight, mostly cloudy skies. We drop down to 25. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny. We do see a slight chance of a few flurries, but high temperatures back right around 30. We'll be back to near the freezing point on Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:45 WSJM Morning Show continues Tuesday, February 10th. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thanks for joining us. We're talking with Bob Burch, Senior Vice President at Sturgis Bank. They are the presenting sponsor of this year's Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. We're also talking with Doug Schaffer, Vice President, Advancement and Community Impact, and the Executive Director of the Lake Michigan College Foundation. And Bob, we were talking just a moment ago off air about the Lake Michigan College Foundation. Talk about the members that you were talking about, the community commitment.
As we've been visiting this morning, the names that we mentioned at Give Back, David Costas from Silver Beach, Gloria Ender was going to do the murder mystery, Scott McFarland, who helped support me in the Blossom Time. Those people, including myself, are all part of the Lake Michigan College Foundation board. And I'm just, Randy Beddick is another one that gives back. And the list just goes on and on of great board members that are supportive. Chad White from Michigan Pizza. We have 2 pizza people on there are great in supporting the college and giving back.
Yeah.
So that list goes on. I think we have 20 plus board members.
Almost 30. Actually. Yeah.
Wow. And Doug, can you talk a little bit about the work of the Lake Michigan College Foundation itself?
Yeah. We also, in addition to the auction, began in the 1980s as an organization that was created to create private resources in support of the mission of Lake Michigan College. And at that point, the college, through its general fund, subsidized the entire operation. And from that point in the late 80s until now, we now have a portfolio that is valued at over $22 million. And so now when you think of the impact that that can have on our students, and as I mentioned, 5 million of that is the Winter Circle Endowment Fund. But we talked about a great friend of the college in Charles Jesperson. He has his own family endowment scholarship fund, which is one of the biggest endowment funds that we have at the college that provides scholarship money for students every year. He's a longtime supporter of programming at the Mendel Center. We have Premier Partners, which is an endowment that helps us make sure that we can continue to operate and be an active and vibrant member of the arts and the performing arts community here in Southwest Michigan and the region. And so when you think of, it takes all of us, it takes passing millages, it takes the work of the foundation to write grants and to encourage private donations in support of capital projects like buildings, the Hansen Tech Center, the Hansen Theater. We talked about Carolyn Hansen. She is the chair emerita in perpetuity of this event because it was her vision to bring this now $5 million endowment plus all the other things that have been able to be accomplished with this by something that she brought back from another community to Southwest Michigan that now is paying dividends in big, big ways. And so we wanted to say thank you to her, not only for her impact on the auction, but all of the great things that have happened at Lake Michigan College and in the community. If you look at what's going on at the Berrien Community Foundation, which does great work, Carolyn is very active there and especially in support of youth programs. So it's fun to be around people who care about people, and the college is right there supporting so many great nonprofits, schools, and basically everything that makes this community great. And so it's great to be part of that mix.
Yeah, we're talking with Doug Schaffer, Vice President for Advancement and Community Impact and the Executive Director of Lake Michigan College Foundation, Doug Schaffer, and Bob Burch, Senior Vice President at Sturgis Bank. Sturgis Bank, the presenting sponsor of this year's Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. It's coming up on Saturday, March 7th at the Mendel Center, Grand Upton Hall. Let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update, which is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. Excuse me. And if you want tickets to that event that's coming up on March 7th, at the Mental Center at Grand Upton Hall. All you have to do is go to lakemichigancollege.edu/auction, and you can find out all the information about that. Again, you can get the dining experience, which is heavy appetizers. They'll have options for, I'm sure, all dietary needs as well, right?
Correct.
Vegetarian, pescatarian, ovarian, all that other stuff. Okay.
There's something for everyone.
Okay. Oh, I think that's where you just eat eggs. I don't know. Anyway, they'll also have, there's a Vinters bar. Hey, you have a viticulture program at Lake Michigan College, and you're doing a Vinters bar? This is going to be good.
Lake Michigan Vintners has its own tasting area with a charcuterie board. We'll have some smoked salmon, along with wines from our winery that our students make to complement those really great options to eat and to enjoy and to dine on, and get to meet our staff and students from the winery. And so it's a very popular space to visit and enjoy as part of the auction.
I also see here that you've got, next to the LM Vinters Bar, the Lake Michigan Vinters Bar, you're going to have the Journeyman Spirits Bar, and that's where Trevor Kabatsky is going to be hanging out.
Correct. Yeah, the Journeyman has been a great friend to the college and this event, and craft cocktails is a big deal, and that is one of the busiest spaces of the whole 14,000 square foot of Grand Upton Hall.
Yeah.
And we put our president, Dr. Kubatsky, there to meet and greet and to, continue the conversation. And that is also a very popular spot.
Let's see. So we've got the Lake Michigan Vinters Bar, the Journeyman Spirits Bar. There'll be the, like I say, heavy appetizers and the silent auction shopping. And that'll all start when the event starts on March 7th, that Saturday evening at 5:30. That's when doors open and you can start doing all that. And then at 7:30, you can enjoy the raffle drawing and the live auction. And what's that experience like when that happens?
Well, what's fun is, again, Dan McCrary does a great job of pitching each item and then just having fun with the audience. And usually when you get more than a handful of bidders, playing off each other, and that adds to the excitement and kind of the one-upsmanship of bidding on live auction items, just creates kind of a competitive atmosphere. And certainly that helps us raise money, but it also is almost like an additional educational opportunity, or not educational, and entertainment opportunity.
Yes.
It's part of the show, if you will, to allow Dan to do his thing as part of the live auction.
And then after that, after the raffle drawing is done and the live auction, by the way, the raffle drawing, what are we raffling off? $10,000?
It's a $10,000 prize, a $1,000 prize, and a $500 prize. So there's be 3 winners.
Wow.
But the big one is the $10,000.
That's amazing. And you've sold how many?
I've sold 3 winners the last 2 years. One was the $10,000 one. That was Connie Hansen. And then I also sold the $1,000 winner and a $500 winner.
Now,
so
the IRS rules say I've got to report at $10,000. So do you have a $9,999 prize? Okay, never mind. All right. Anyway, so the live auction, not saying anything here. It's going to be tax time soon. Raffle drawing and live auction at 7:30. And then at 9 o'clock, entertainment by the 1985 Totally 80s Mixtape Live. I mean, the description is what it is. That sounds like a lot of fun.
We had them here last year, and it is truly backed by popular demand.
Okay.
The folks just had so much fun. They are really becoming more and more popular. It was not as easy to book them this year as it was even last year. And so kudos to them for them to be an in-demand local entertainment band. And we're grateful and thankful for the opportunity to bring them back.
They cover artists like, and I mean, 80s mixtape, right? Prince, Journey, Madonna, Poison, Michael Jackson, Bon Jovi, Joan Jett, Def Leppard, Blondie, and more. You gotta love that. And then you'll close doors, kick everyone out at 11 o'clock. That sounds like a fun evening. All right. Again, tickets, go to lakemichigancollege.edu/auction, and you can get all the information you need there. That's been our Moody on the Market update for this hour, brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. Back to conclude this conversation in a couple of moments here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Insurance Management.
All right, we're still on the video live stream. What have we not talked about that we want to talk about?
I think we've covered most everything.
Yeah.
I had a few notes here, but we've hit everything that I put in my notes.
Doug, what do you do when you're not LMCing?
I am the biggest fan possible for my 2 teenage daughters who are at St. Joe High School. One's a freshman, one is a junior. The junior is on a fabulous third place in the state swim team.
Wow.
And my freshman daughter plays volleyball and basketball, is very active in the performing arts as well with the choir and theater program. So I'm just so blessed that they're thriving and doing well. And that's why I'm not coaching, is because I just want to make sure I don't miss anything or as little as possible while this fleeting time of them, growing up and seeing them become impressive young ladies. And also just friends like Bob and Stephanie and my wife Peggy and I just enjoy to spend time with friends. We're hosting 2 tables at the event where we invite our friends to come and have a great evening. And it's just another reason why living here is so great. Is it's a small town feel, but yet there's also really, really great things to do.
Yeah, love that.
Ken, if you don't know, with Doug and that family, the Schaffer name, as far as it comes to basketball, is probably the best known name in this community. His dad's in the Hall of Fame, but his brother's a coach. Doug was a coach. They all played. And so it's a name of people that follow sports and basketball locally will know the Schaffer name.
Yeah, I felt that coming from him. And it's like, okay, this is interesting. We need to get him in for a full hour just to talk about his basketball legacy as well. I think that'd be good.
Anytime.
Okay. I'll kind of take you up on that. But you mentioned that you spend a lot of time watching the students, athletes, and your daughters grow up. I saw a statistic that broke my heart the other day. 90% of the time that you spend in person with your kids, they did a survey. 90% of the time you spend with your kids happens at the time before they reach 18. And then 10% of the in-person time for the rest of your life. So 90% of your in-person time with your kids is done when they turn 18.
That's how valuable or precious that is.
Right.
Because
yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Sorry to bring it down, or spend time with your kids. Give them a hug.
Particularly your junior. I mean, she won't be there for,
Yep.
Yeah, I threw that at my kids. Just like, hey, come on, Aunt, pick up my call. All right. 7:56. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be back in just a moment.
From the owner, making sure that everybody that we hire is 100% up for the job. If I would not let somebody in my own home or in my parents' home or family's home, I'm certainly not going to give them the keys to your house. If there was any reason I can't trust them, they'd hit the door. I'm not going to put up with it. I've been here for 10 years. I want to make sure I'm here for 10 years more. We do extensive background checks on all the guys that we hire, make sure that they're good, honest citizens. I can't just hire somebody off the street, let them go in your house. If I don't have a good sense of their demeanor and who they actually are, I can't do it.
McKee's Heating and Air. Feel at ease with McKee's.
Your Southwest Michigan Bryant dealer. Whatever it takes.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
3 minutes before 8 o'clock, we'll have news from ABC for world and national updates, and then we'll also have our local news from the WSJM newsroom. That's coming up in just a moment. But I do want to say thank you to Doug Schaffer and Bob Burch. Doug is Vice President for Advancement and Community Impact at Lake Michigan College. He's also the Executive Director of the Lake Michigan College Foundation, and Bob Burch, Senior Vice President at Sturgis Bank and presenting sponsor of this year's event. Sturgis Bank is of the Lake Michigan College Student Benefit Auction. And Doug, a lot of sponsors come together to make this happen in addition to Sturgis Bank. Tell us more. Yeah,
appreciate the opportunity. The AEP Cook Plant, Whirlpool Corporation, TPC Technologies, Honor Credit Union, Oh My Darlings, which is a store in South Haven. We get a lot of our auction items from them. They give us a great discount so that we can bring a wide variety of especially family-oriented silent auction items. Krugel Lawton, DLZ, Priority Health, and many, many, many more. When you have well over 100 silent auction items, those are donations from local businesses. They're donations from people. And certainly I don't have time to list off all of the folks that have donated everything from a gift card to their own private business to like Charlie Racine at Grand Mirror, who gives us 10 $100 gift cards as part of his contribution to the auction.
That's amazing.
We can't thank those folks enough because it all comes together to help us raise the money that we have and are continuing to do in support of students. This is all about supporting our students in as many ways as we can.
Yeah, we love that. And the auction event is happening on Saturday, March 7th. Thank you to you individuals for doing what you're doing on this. Thank you to the sponsors who have made this possible. And thank you to the community who continues to support. You've been doing this since 1988. And again, it's a strong turnout year after year after year. So get your tickets now. Go to lakemichigancollege.edu/auction. And the event again is Saturday, March 7th at the Mendel Center, Grand Upton Hall. Black tie optional, and it goes to a great cause. This has been the WSJM Morning Show, the 7 o'clock hour. We've got the 8 o'clock hour to come. We've got news from ABC. Our local news is coming up next. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A